Thank you for coming here. Today we're going to learn a lot about Shakespeare's life. We're going to play some games, and at the end we will see a Romeo and Juliet performance from a group of students from the 5th year. We also want to thank the presence of our supervisor, Mr. Daniel Núñez, and Sofía Leblanc, our language assistant, who helped us a lot in the organization of this workshop. I hope you enjoy it.
So thanks for coming out here on this rainy Friday afternoon. This is our final Shakespeare meeting, and I hope you all enjoy it. Let's start. Group 1.
Two or three players at the same time, 2 lives per game, and when you lose your 2 lives, a new team plays. You can talk to your team members about the questions. So, come on.
Option C on April 26, 1616.
And the answer is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Okay, second question. Where was Shakespeare born? Manchester, Chicago, Taunton, Stratford upon Avon.
Stratford upon Avon.
This is correct.
Which were the names of Shakespeare's children? B and C.
How did they die? No car accident, woman in best, aeroplane accident.
The answer C.
No.
Correct?
Okay, one more life.
You lose one life. And now,
Eight. That's for 80.
he was married to a husband.
He was married to
She has were Queen Elizabeth and Frank.
It's me again. Last meeting we talked about love and marriage in the time of Shakespeare, which is the Elizabethan era. And so now I'm just going to give you a little bit more background information, a little more context about what it was like to live in this time. It was called the Elizabethan era because of Queen Elizabeth, who was the Queen of England in this time. So she was a very important queen because she made a lot of changes in the country. She reigned for 45 years, and she was a huge proponent of the arts. So the arts and theater really flourished under her rule. They built a ton of theaters in London, and people started going to the theater very often. It became a very popular thing to do. 15,000 people in London would go to the theater every week, which is a lot. They didn't have anything else to really entertain themselves with, I suppose. No TV. The Bible was only in Latin. So when you went to church, you would open a book and it would be in Latin. So this time, for the first time, under King James, who came after Elizabeth, he had the Bible translated to English, so it was more accessible for the people. And up until that time, only boys would go to school, and it was their privilege to learn how to speak Latin in order to be required to go to law by church. And if you didn't go required by law to go to church, and if you didn't go, you would have to pay a fine. You have to pay. It was a very important part of people's lives, and some people had to travel long distances. They lived in the country. There weren't quite as many people that lived in the city like now. His father had some debts. Hygiene. Everyone likes to know about hygiene, right? How many times a day do you guys shower? Like twice? Because there's no running water, there's no toilets. So most people were in the lower classes, they didn't have a lot of money. So they only could bathe a couple of times each year. Can you imagine? However, upper class people, the lucky ones, they could bathe about once every couple of weeks. Great, right? Don't you think they smell great? And some hygiene. Bunting, cock, dove, raven, robin, sparrow, nightingale, swallow, turkey, wren, and starling. So, I guess he was a big fan of birds. Does anyone have any interpretation of that? Why do you think he wrote so much about birds? I think probably there were a lot of bird metaphors that we can find in Shakespeare. In none of them does he spell his name in the same way that we spell his name, Shakespeare, as we spell it. He spells it Shakespeare, Shakespeare. That wasn't really relevant because there was no census or quite as organized as it is now, and so your name was the way you spoke it instead of really the way you wrote it, perhaps.
Play a game called the character quiz. She's going to give you a test. You have to choose one answer according to your personality. And at the end, you have to add the answer to know what character you are. For example, if you have more option number 1, you are a character.
Who have the option number 1?
You are Hamlet. Hamlet is melancholy, bitter, and cynical. Full of passion for his uncle's escaping, and Titus for his mother's sexuality. By men all the time.
Now we have a performance from fifth year in the CECIE. Sit tight, they're about to start. A little bit.
Romeo and Juliet tell the story of two important families in Verona in Italy. The families hate each other. When people hate each other, everybody around them is affected, especially Romeo, the son of the mountains, and Juliet, the daughter of the Capulets. This is a story of love, a story of hate, but most of all, this is a story of hope.
You have to talk with Juliet about her future. She should choose a husband. She's not a little girl anymore.
Oh, darling, but she's not interested in marriage.
Well, she should be. Count Paris want to propose to her.
I got an idea. We can give a party so they can meet there.
Alright, they tell Count Paris about it so he can go talk to her. And you talk with Juliet about the feast and compare.
She has some
There are a lot of girls out there. Come on, it is fun.
I don't know. We will be in trouble.
They won't recognize.
If my family see you here, they will kill you.
I don't want to live with you alone.
Romeo, if you really love me and wish to marry me, send a message to my room. I will send someone to collect the message.
The next morning, the nurse and Romeo's servant take and receive messages. Romeo talks to the real nurse to tell him about his new feeling and his desire to marry Juliet at once. The man of God thinks this marriage would turn the hatred between the two families into love, so he accepts to marry them in secret. The hatred and jealousies of those two noble families, and the love has more power over spirit.
today so much relaxing as comparing with the first time you met. So today I felt that you were more relaxed working, and this makes us feel very well according to that. So that's why this year, and I think that the following year we will have another project, this year we will celebrate your final celebration will be all together in only one place. All the 6 years from the 3 CECIEs, we get the certificate all together. This is the purpose. Because as you have been working together during the year, I consider that it was very important to join you at the end of the year and to get the promotion all together. Because it is a way to, we are neighbors, we work and we learn in different schools, but we belong to the same districts and to the same places.